coast to coast, in all parts of the Dominion, the production of hogs is a matter of vital importance to the Canadian farmer. On more than 2/3 of the nation's farms, whether large or small, old or new, pig raising is a primary part of the farmer's operations, an important item in the farmer's income. There are reasons, of course. No other domestic animal produces as much meat from the same quantity of feed. A pig can produce 100 pounds of meat from only 350 pounds of balanced feed. But a calf requires 800 pounds of feed to make a 100-pound gain. No other farm animal multiplies so rapidly or matures so early or has such a large present or potential market. For hogs provide the Canadian farmer with one of his largest agricultural export products, and that in spite of tremendous mortality losses. Did you know that more than 1/4 of all the pigs born in Canada die before they are marketed? That is, out of every 20 pigs born, at least 5 die, and most losses occur before the pigs are 8 weeks old. Cut out that loss, and the hog population of Canada would immediately increase by more than 1 million animals, enough to meet export demands. Better care of pigs, so as to reduce mortality rates, should be the aim of every Canadian farmer. Hog losses are due to 4 main causes: disease, bad feeding, bad housing, and crushing. And the first two, disease and bad feeding, are closely related. Pigs are subject to a great many diseases. The most important of these are pneumonia, enteritis, flu. Healthy pigs, whose resistance is high due to balanced feeding, have every chance to resist disease. These baby pigs are only a few hours old, but they are not just starting to grow, far from it. They have been developing for the past 114 days, the period of gestation for a sow. During gestation, the growth of the unborn pigs begins and continues, providing, of course, that essential food materials are available. Minerals are needed to build sound skeletons and prevent rickets later on. Protein ensures the correct development of muscle, body tissue, hoof, and hair. And vitamins guarantee health and strong resistance to disease. Where do pigs get these food materials? There is only one way: through the sow's feed. And the farmer makes or breaks his pigs before their birth, just by his good or bad feeding of the sow. For healthy litters, the sow's ration must be high in protein, minerals, and vitamins. Grain alone is low in these necessary ingredients, which must therefore be added to ground grain in the form of Shur-Gain sow concentrate. The care given the pregnant sow also determines the quality and thrift of the litter. Good management means low mortality. In summer, sows are put on good green pasture, and alfalfa or other legume mixture is preferable. Green pasture supplies many of the vitamins and the protein needed for the development of unborn pigs, but sows on pasture should also have access to a supply of Shur-Gain hog minerals, together with the regular grain allowance. Pasture and grain alone do not contain enough mineral ingredients to meet the heavy requirements of the sow and her unborn litter. In winter, the sow should get a forkful of good quality, green-colored alfalfa hay each day, in addition to the balanced sow ration. Exercise is very important to the pregnant sow. Fat, lazy sows have difficulty at farrowing time and bear small, weak pigs. In summer and winter, Sows should be forced to walk 200 or 300 feet from their sleeping quarters to the feed and water. Sows need plenty of clean, fresh water and should be kept away from open water holes. Such places usually breed disease. And speaking of disease, one of the greatest causes of loss in pig production is the intestinal round worm. In true pig fashion, sows like to live in filth if they get the chance, encouraging disease, parasites, and worms, which are so easily and so quickly picked up. Worm eggs pass out in the droppings of wormy pigs and pollute the ground, and the dirt of old pens and yards is usually full of worm eggs. Take this sample of dirt, for instance. Under the microscope may be seen hundreds of round worm eggs, enough to infect a whole litter. Baby pigs swallow the eggs when sucking, or pick them up when rooting in a dirty pen or run. And these baby pigs would have swallowed the worm eggs in their very first drink, one strike against them on their first day of life. Worms do not always cause death, but they seriously lower the pig's resistance, so that pneumonia and other diseases may prove fatal. And no wonder when the course of the worm eggs through the body is followed. Soon after the eggs are swallowed, they hatch in the intestines. Then the tiny worms pass through the wall of the intestines and enter the bloodstream. Now in the blood, the thread-like worms are carried to the liver and eventually to the lungs. Severe inflammation of the lungs is caused, and the worms are coughed up in the mouth, then swallowed. In the intestines, the round worm matures, produces eggs, and starts the vicious cycle all over again. Prevention is easier and better than cure. The sow should be wormed at the end of her first month of pregnancy. Shur-Gain Hog Worm Rid is a safe and certain way of getting rid of round worms. In successful hog production, sanitation and pasture rotation are also key words. The range should be divided into two, and the colony houses moved yearly. This further combats parasites and disease. When not in use, pastures should be cultivated so as to clean them up. The third cause of hog losses is bad housing. And housing need not be expensive to be good. 8 by 10 colony houses are low in cost and satisfactory for year-round use. The colony house is built on skids so that it may easily be moved to clean ground. Elaborate housing is not necessary, but dry housing is. In the large central piggery, insulation and ventilation combine to prevent moisture from forming on the walls and causing dampness. Damp housing invites high losses by pneumonia and other respiratory diseases. Simple ventilation will carry off the dampness. And simple heating by a small stove will dry the air. Only enough heating to banish dampness is necessary. Overheating the piggery will do the pigs more harm than good. Remember, pigs can stand cold weather, but dampness means disaster. Concrete floors are often cold and damp, and the use of a wooden sleeping platform is one of the most successful methods of avoiding this danger. Before the sow farrows, great care should be taken to clean and disinfect the farrowing pen thoroughly. Plenty of boiling water and lye is used to kill the worm eggs. These are very resistive to ordinary disinfectants, and boiling water is most necessary since it is the heat that actually destroys the worm eggs. After the lye and water treatment, the walls of the pen are sprayed with a solution of reliable disinfectant and water, so as to kill all remaining disease organisms. Next, a small amount of bedding is placed in the clean pen. Baby pigs may get tangled up or trampled on if too large a quantity of straw is provided. In winter, they may get lost in deep straw and become chilled. About a week before she is due to farrow, the sow is brought in from pasture. This allows her to get used to her new surroundings and settle down. The sow has already been treated for worms, but any lingering filth that might contain worm eggs is washed off the udders. This prevents the baby pigs from becoming infested at their first feeding. 2 or 3 days before farrowing, the sow gets a laxative feed made from equal quantities of Shur-Gain sow ration and bran. Care of the sow at farrowing time more than pays for any loss of sleep or trouble taken. To give the newborn pigs a protected start, they should be put in a warm box until farrowing is complete. Remember, one tiny pig lost now means one less hog for market. 24 hours after farrowing, the sow gets only fresh water with a handful of feed put into it. Gradually thereafter, the ration is increased until the sow gets all the balanced sow ration she can eat to ensure the maximum production of milk. Soon after birth, the black teeth should be cut off. If left, these needle-sharp teeth will hurt the sow's udder when the pig is sucking, and may cause the sow to hold back her milk or restlessly crush the pigs. After the dentist comes the doctor to prevent nutritional anemia. Pigs are born with a small supply of iron, sufficient only to last them a few days. There is also very little iron in the sow's milk, so that the pigs must get their iron from some other source. One way is by means of sods, cut from clean land and sprinkled with a solution made of 1 pound of iron sulfate in a quart of water. This is an excellent preventative against nutritional anemia and saves dosing. Such sods should be kept in the pen until the pigs are about 4 weeks old. In this way, the young pigs actually dig their own iron. 2 other methods, entailing individual dosing, are also effective. Reduced iron, as much as will stay on the end of a teaspoon, is given when the pigs are 3 or 4 days old, and once a week thereafter for 2 weeks. Iron sulfate may also be used. A level teaspoonful is administered in the same manner as the reduced iron. Pigs are marked to prevent double dosage. Probably the most satisfactory brooder arrangement, where power is available, is the electric brooder. It is a simply made box heated by an electric light bulb. Baby pigs should not be permitted to eat from the sow's trough. Their small, delicate stomachs and intestines are often irritated by coarse feeds, which may cause scours. To meet their special needs, Shur-Gain Pig Starter, high in food value and low in fiber, should be provided in a creep which is inaccessible to the sow. From the time the pigs are 2 weeks old until they are weaned at 8 weeks, Pig Starter should be kept in the self-feeder, but should not be allowed to become stale. With fresh Pig Starter every day, there will be no empty places at the table. Weaning time is undoubtedly the most critical in a pig's life. Then the pig is taken off its mother's milk and must look after itself. Weaning setback, when pigs are thin and rough like these, lowers the pig's resistance to disease, so that many losses occur at this time. Weaning setback actually starts before weaning. At 4 weeks of age, the sow's milk begins to drop off, and the pig's growth consequently begins to slow down, so that at 8 weeks of age, when it is weaned, the pig is thin and weak. If, however, pig starter is fed from 2 weeks on, the little pig's growth continues uninterruptedly, and the result is big, strong, healthy weaner pigs. Another high contributor to the mortality rate is the crushing of baby pigs by sows. The simple installation of a guardrail around the pen is a safety-first measure that will help to provide protection for the little pigs. Throughout their lives, brood sows and baby pigs alike will show the effects of good management and balanced feeding. Manufactured at the local Shur-Gain feed service mill, Shur-Gain sow ration is a complete, ready-to-feed ration that cuts out the labor of home mixing and ensures balanced feeding. For the baby pig, Shur-Gain Pig Starter puts the pig on the right road to profitable marketing. For the sow, Shur-Gain sow ration, or a balanced ration made from farm grains and Shur-Gain sow concentrate, ensures the proper development of the litter before and after farrowing. All Shur-Gain feeds are prepared to make hog management as easy as possible and to make hog production as profitable as possible. Shur-Gain feeds and concentrates are the result of thorough, scientific analysis of the pig's needs. Extensive practical tests on the Shur-Gain experimental farm have proven their value. The farmer therefore can use any and all Shur-Gain products with complete confidence. Shur-Gain Feed Service is the only system in Canada whereby balanced feeds are manufactured in local feed mills under the direct supervision of Shur-Gain inspectors. This means that grains are fresher when they reach the pig, for once grains are ground, they gradually become stale or slightly rancid, and the young animals especially know the difference. Shur-Gain Feed Service also means that transportation costs are greatly reduced. Grains do not need to be shipped to distant centers for preparation. The grain is handled in the most direct way possible, eliminating all unnecessary handling and hauling. Concentrates required to balance the grain are supplied by the Feed Division of Canada Packers Limited. Pigs to be proud of. Pigs that will mean increased production, farming progress, and more cash profits. The road of good hog management is not a difficult one. It is a sure gain way to big dividends. Dividends that every Canadian farmer can have if he observes all the rules of high-quality hog management. You make dollars, you save dollars when you save that pig.